Rob Parker, this dude, he is trying so hard to make the top of my list of dumbest social justice warriors. Lately, Rob Parker has been doing his best, trying his hardest to emulate Stephen A. Smith. He sees Stephen A. making $12 million every year at ESPN, promoting fake outrage, promoting mythical discrimination. Have you ever noticed there is no or very little originality in the woke movement? These people all copy each other. Colin Kaepernick assumes his favorite position on his knees. Megan Rapinoe follows suit. They both become stars in the woke movement. What happens next? Players in the WNBA start doing the same. Now, of course, no social justice stars were created in the WNBA. It's hard to get noticed getting on your knees when no one's watching your shitty product. The other day, it might have actually been yesterday, I was talking about Fox News using skin color to describe Jason Whitlock. 2 years ago, Jason Whitlock wrote an article claiming George Floyd was not a racially motivated crime. Fox News, they were talking about the article on their website. And I don't want to say they went out of their way, but they kind of went out of their way to describe Jason Whitlock as a black man. And the reason they did that is because Jason Whitlock was one of very few prominent black media members that took that position on George Floyd. He was taking the opposite position that most in his community, at least in the media, were taking. There is this belief, there is this notion being pushed by the mainstream media that prominent black people are required to stick together. If you're black and you're in a position of authority, you are obligated to help other black men. It doesn't matter if they're qualified. It doesn't matter if they're the best fit for the position or your organization. You're black, they're black, so you are obligated to help them out. That is the belief the mainstream media likes to promote, and it's the angle Rob Parker took in his latest article for Deadspin. Deadspin, otherwise known as the journalistic program at Woke U. Journalism students attending Woke U, their classes are held in the offices of Deadspin. And when you think about it, it makes perfect sense. No one reads Deadspin. So undergrad students at Woke U, they can publish their homework to the site and no one will notice their mistakes. No one will notice how bad they fuck up because no one will read it. Well, besides me, of course. I am the only reader Deadspin has left. Earlier today, Rob Parker published an article on Deadspin and he erased all doubt that he is indeed one stupid fuck. The article was about Mike Tomlin hiring Brian Flores, at least partially about that. That's how it started. Many people, myself included, did not think Brian Flores would ever work in the NFL again. You file a lawsuit against the league, making false claims of bias. You just don't expect the NFL to welcome back Brian Flores with open arms. Mike Tomlin, he pretty much rescued Brian Flores, threw him a life preserver, so to speak, saved his NFL career. Now, you would think Robbie Parker, being the pro-black man that he claims to be, would be thrilled with Mike Tomlin helping Brian Flores. But this is a social justice warrior that we're talking about. This is someone who doesn't have the ability to think logically. Rob Parker clearly has an issue with Mike Tomlin. Perhaps he once tried to give him a woke hug and Mike Tomlin declined his advances. Mike Tomlin doesn't seem like the type of dude that wants some beta male grabbing on his ass. Robbie Parker wrote an entire thesis criticizing Mike Tomlin for helping out Brian Flores when he should have helped out another black man and had many opportunities over the years to do so. Now, who is he talking about? Who does he insinuate Mike Tomlin owes something to? None other than Captain Woke himself, Colin Kaepernick. They just won't let this fucking guy fade into the background. According to Robbie, Mike Tomlin would have been justified in helping out Colin Kaepernick. Kaepernick's only crime was caring for others and staging a personal silent protest. Silent protest? A silent protest. A silent protest would have been Colin Kaepernick making his point once, one time, and then moving on. That is not what he did. He turned the entire 2016 NFL season into a fucking circus. He made it all about himself, which leads me to my next question. Someone please explain to me, who does Colin Kaepernick care about? I mean, besides himself, who does he care about? Who was he protesting for? Did he ever explain? I mean, this is a guy that refuses to give interviews, refuses to defend his position. Robbie, he continued to criticize Mike Tomlin for refusing to comment during the kneeling scandal back in 2016. Mike Tomlin was asked repeatedly for his opinion on kneeling, and he refused to answer. Yeah, probably because he knew it was bullshit. It was a smart move on the part of Mike Tomlin. You see, Robbie, Mike Tomlin is a football coach. He's not some fucking political activist fighting against the cops. Robbie basically insinuates that it is Mike Tomlin's fault that Colin Kaepernick is not playing in the NFL. With Tomlin being one of the few black head coaches in the league the last 5 years, it's his obligation to help out poor Colin. Robbie claims that Mike Tomlin should have brought Colin Kaepernick to Pittsburgh to be the backup to Ben Roethlisberger. In what world would that have worked? For one, you think Colin Kaepernick was going to agree to be a backup quarterback for 5 years? You think his ego was going to allow that? And number two, and I say this all the time, what is the one thing NFL head coaches try to eliminate? What is the one thing NFL head coaches refuse to deal with? Distractions. They refuse to deal with distractions. Mike Tomlin got rid of Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell. Why? They were distractions. And both of those players are a hell of a lot better than Colin Kaepernick. Let me tell you what would have happened had Mike Tomlin brought Colin Kaepernick to Pittsburgh. It is no secret. Big Ben struggled the last 2 or 3 years of his career. Missed pretty much the entire 2019 season. God awful in 2020. Even worse last season. The media pressure would have been relentless to start Colin Kaepernick over Big Ben. This proves bias in the NFL. The Steelers continue starting the shitty white quarterback when they have a black superstar on their bench. Whether or not the distraction aspect played a part in his decision to pass on Colin Kaepernick, I don't know. Maybe Mike Tomlin didn't bring him to Pittsburgh because he's no fucking good. Again, I don't know. What I do know, Mike Tomlin was not obligated to sign Colin Kaepernick, nor was it his responsibility to look out for him because they share the same skin tone. That's just absolutely ridiculous. Robbie Parker, he then claimed that Colin Kaepernick was right in his protest. He was right all along. Suddenly in 2020, Kaepernick was viewed as a visionary. He was right about the need to defund the police. Yeah, he was right. How's that stupid shit working out for you? Rob Parker, you claim to be a journalist. Why don't you go do some actual journalism and go ask the people of Chicago about defunding the police? Go ask the people of Seattle, San Francisco, Los Angeles. Go ask your brain-dead president and the other shitfucks in your Democratic Party how defund the police worked out. The same politicians who were pushing defund the police and who defunded the police are now whining about police funding or the lack thereof. We don't have enough cops. Crime is at an all-time high. My constituents hate me. We must fix this problem. I tell you guys all the time, social justice warriors only have the ability to create problems. They don't know how to fix anything. They don't have the ability to build something. All they can do is destroy. Let me tell you how stupid this fucking Rob Parker is. Oh, this right here is a real gem, a real diamond of dumbass. This man claims people want Colin Kaepernick back in the NFL and want Tom Brady out of the league. He claims America is sick of Tom Brady. A couple of weeks ago, he was on his radio show that no one listens to, and Rob Parker went on a tirade against Tom Brady. He said Tom Brady has reached go-away status and that he is sickening to most Americans. Rob Parker, I think you're getting Tom Brady confused with LeBron James. I don't know anyone tired of watching Tom Brady in the NFL, but I know plenty of people who are tired of LeBron James. Rob Parker, I hate to break it to you, you are not Stephen A. Smith. At least Stephen A. is somewhat entertaining when he's being a dumbass. Again, it is not or was not the responsibility of Mike Tomlin to save Colin Kaepernick's NFL career. There are 31 other coaches in the NFL, 31 other teams. It is not Mike Tomlin's fault. Colin Kaepernick is not in the league. I promise you, if this dude were good enough, a team would sign him. Colin Kaepernick's not in the NFL because he's no fucking good. But give me your thoughts. Rob Parker blaming Mike Tomlin for not saving Colin Kaepernick. Sound off in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, KC_BTL84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys tomorrow.